Hey guys, welcome back, and today we've got something a little bit different for me, and that is the Avanti from FMS, which is a 90mm EDF jet. And in this video we're going to do a quick unboxing, throw it together, and then we're going to take it flying. Let's go. So a tiny bit of backstory as to why I've got this EDF, because so far on my channel I don't think there's been a single EDF, or not one that I've owned anyway. End of last year I decided to order my very first turbine, which is going to be turning up any day now. Matter of fact, within the next couple of weeks, well, the next couple of days, it'll be in the UK. Then hopefully the next couple of weeks, it'll clear customs and it'll be with me. So stay tuned for that. So don't forget to like and subscribe down below. So my kind of logic to this is I kind of need to fly something smaller first, because I've brought something pretty big, which probably isn't ideal for my first turbine, but we'll see how that one goes. So my logic is, let's fly something smaller, electric, EDF, before moving on to the turbine. And that's why I've got it. Now let's unbox it. Okay, so what's on the box? So this is the FMS 90mm Avanti 18th anniversary edition, which you can purchase a vector thrust unit for. Let me just show you that by using my other camera. So there we go. So this one I've got the standard one. You can actually get this section here, which is a vector thrust unit for it, and there's a whole rear section just slots out, and you can slot this in instead. So let me know in the comments down below if you want me to go ahead and get that unit for it as well and do a separate review on that. What else have we got on the box? Let's have a look at the specs. So wingspan is 1,290 mils, 129 centimeters, overall length 136 centimeters, flying weight roughly 3.2 kg, brushless, 120 amp ESC, servo, 6 channel, so on and so forth. I'll let you guys read that if you want to. But let's actually get the box open. So this is plug and play, so this should be quick. Famous last words. Be quick if I can actually get in the box. Right, here we go. And again, I'll give you my first impressions. Trying to open the box in the workshop is always difficult. There we go. So initially the wings look a lot smaller than I was imagining, but I guess it is a small jet. I mean, there's my hand just to show you. So we've got retracts, nice rubber wheels, 2 wings, always nice to have a pair, and then the instructions. I'm actually quite excited about this. It's nice to fly different things. I have had, since returning to the hobby about 5 years ago, I have had one EDF jet, which was the Futara, which I think was also by FMS. There may be a clip of that on my channel from the early days. Okay, manual. Some stuff in there about swapping over the vector thrust unit, lots of different languages. No, I'm not going to look in there. Right, let's have a look at the wing, or a wing panel. Nice. So there we go, a bit of a close-up for you. So it's the anniversary edition, which is in the gold and the red, as you can see. So we've got a light on the wingtip, covered in nicely. It's obviously is foam, so you have to be a bit careful of hanger rash, a bit careful of transportation, because the foam can dent and will leave marks in it. Servo's pre-installed. Looks like linkages aren't installed, so hopefully they're in the box. There's ailerons, and there's the flaps as well. As I said earlier, it retracts. On this side, it looks like we've got some kind of socket system. It looks like an old RS-232 style connector from back in my tech days. But that's obviously a single connecting point to connect the retract and the 2 servos, so you don't have lots of different wires to plug in. That all makes sense. Pop that on the side. Pop out the other ring, obviously exactly the same. But let's open up and have a look at the fuselage. Let's give you guys a close-up. So it looks like we've got some wires and connectors in there, and then the rods which weren't pre-installed. That's fine. Horizontal stabilizer I'll take out shortly. And here's the fuselage, here's the rudder. Pilot inside. Aggressive looking pilot. Do like the colour scheme. Oh. Okay, that's the, for a quick second there, I thought they'd put the wrong bit in the box. But that's just the rear of the fuselage, which we get slotted on in a minute. Looks good, like it so far. Okay, so let's get the smaller bits out first. Horizontal stabilizer. That's the underneath. Nice to see the servos. Well, it's obviously elevator because they're both labelled elevator, but they are labelled. So no linkages, but we've just found them in the box. Super small servos. Just kind of what you expect from FMS. FMS is good quality. But no, that all looks very nice. This bit that I just pulled out is actually the rear end of the fuselage, which gets slotted on with those dowels and then screwed in as well. I believe they've done that because it's obviously modular, where you can get the vector thrust unit for. Nose cone as well. Kind of is what it is. Rudder, very nice having the 18th for the anniversary on the rudder. Servo on the other side. Lead, and that's just going to slot in. So it shouldn't take much to get this together. Bag of, let's have a better look at those, put that back. So they are just the linkages, as we said before, and it looks like a Y lead in there, or a couple of extension leads, and then all the screws that we need to get things together. Hex bolts. Piece of carbon tubing, which I presume is for the wings. Let's go through the fuselage and into the wings. And then let's get out the fuselage and make some space. Oh no, there's one more piece. Another piece of tubing. And here we go. Avanti S. Light on top as well. Appreciate it's a little bit dark for you guys to see. The 18th anniversary underneath. Flipper upside down. Big intakes. Retractable nose wheel retracted. Light underneath as well. Nice that they've included lights. I wasn't expecting that. That's good. Right, let's get the box out of the way and start putting it together. Okay, so here she is all on the bench, a bit of a close-up for you guys. That's most of the parts, and I have actually got the instructions out, which basically just says start off by assembling the rear end, which is what we're going to do now. In case anybody's wondering, the mat that I've got down on my workbench is just a yoga mat. And I use that occasionally to protect things like foam models or balsa models, just so they don't get any dents off the actual bench itself. I can show you the EDF is well tucked away. You see right down here? There we go, just about to see it. Focus. Okay, so first step is to align the rear of the fuselage into the slots. And then just a case of locating those two dowels, top and bottom. And there we go, a bit of a snug fit, which is what you want. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to hold it in place. There's only 2 sizes of screws for this model. Just show you, so it shouldn't be a case of going wrong at all. The longer one and the shorter one there and there. Hex screws. Okay, and there we go, that's the rear section on. Step 1 done. Just 4 screws. Okay, I actually suggest putting the wings on next, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put the horizontal stab on next because it just makes it easier in the workshop to handle. Just make sure those servo wires go through the run, and then this slots down onto some pegs. It's a snug fit. Once it's on those pegs, just a case of putting in 5 screws again. Okay, so if you are building one of these, you get a Y lead that comes with it, which is for the elevator. And just a quick tip before we try and put this all together, make sure you feed the Y lead through this hole under here, which will then come out just inside here. Don't try and lay it over the top because you won't get the rudder down properly. So plug the elevator in, into the Y lead then plugs in here, then you can loosen this cable up, and that's for the rudder, and tape it back down, and you put everything back together, which is what we're about to do now. Right, so let's get the rudder plugged in. Nice that everything's labelled. Just make sure the wire's right around, which it is. They've got nice keeps on the servo leads as well. If we keep that in place. And that's slotting down nicely. Right, let's get that bolted in. And there we go, there's the rear end fully assembled. Nice and easy. Horizontal stabilizer and rudder. Right, let's see what's next. Okay, so next up we'll start putting the wings on. Saying the instructions did say do this before the stab, but I've decided to do it the other way around. It's got the main tube, and I think we've got a rear tube. We've got a rear tube. We've got a rear tube as well. So I'm going to leave mine assembled. I won't be taking the wings on and off. I don't need to. I can fit it in my vehicle without doing that. But I'll show you how many. I think there's 4 screws if you do need to remove the wings. Obviously no connectors because it will slide straight in. My stand's a bit too big for this model, but that should work. So yeah, I'll give you a close-up of these screws before I put them in. So just on the underside, you've got one on the leading edge and one on the trailing edge there as well. So the wing's not quite pushed in yet. You can see there's a gap through there, but I'll make sure it's pushed up before we tighten those up. Just needs to be squeezed in where this bolt goes in. It's a little bit fiddly. It's probably because it's new. Just about to say, I don't think I'd want to be taking these on and off for every flying session. Not without an electric driver and maybe some better bolts. Let's get that one on. That's better. That one's gone on easier. So's the bolts. And there she is, looking pretty good. Next steps, cowling to the front of the fuselage. I think they mean the nose cowl. Ensuring that the cowling is installed in the correct direction. Referring to that as cowling, that to me is the nose. I think there's just clips on. There we go. That's on as well. Looking pretty good, I must admit. Yeah, so let's get the receiver in there first, make sure all the servos are working, then I'll connect up all linkages. So there we go guys, the FMS Avanti S 90mm EDF is done. And I'm pretty pleased how it come out, so let me just show you everything working. Okay, so here's a close-up of the model. You can see the lights are working. There's no extra switches that I can see for the lights, they just turn on. You can't control them from what I can see. Please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. But you can see they're nice and bright and they just appear to be flashing. You can't turn those on off. But again, let me know if I'm wrong. There's one underneath. Looks pretty good. All the controls are working. Left aileron, right, up, down. Nice amount of flaps as well, going all the way down. Half flap, full flap. Now it's just a case of making sure these rods are the right length. So if you are building one of these, all your control rods, make sure they're the same length each side. So both ailerons are the same length, both flaps are the same length, and you have to wind them in and out a little bit. Just get your flap level, like so. Elevator working, and of course rudder working as well. Let me just show you inside. Cockpit is a little bit fiddly to take off. So you've got the catch at the back, and there's it's difficult to get your hands around it without squeezing it too tight. It almost wants like a little bit of a tag there without ruining the look, or something to just hold on to. So be careful that squeezing too hard, you're going to probably damage it. So as far as the installed inside, there's not much to see. So first off, I'm using these Z6000 milliamp 6S batteries. I've just recently been trying these out in a couple of my other models and I really like them. They're 100C, so hopefully they'll be okay in this as well. So this is the high end, or the highest end of the recommended pack for the model. I'll put that in place here using the pre-installed Velcro straps, and then I've put the Futaba receiver down against the sidewall there. And I've gone for a gyro as well. So the control board, which is this board up here, doesn't come with a built-in gyro. You have to either use a receiver with the gyro in there, or of course you don't have to use a gyro, it's entirely up to you. But with one of these jets, I recommend you do. So I've just gone for the GYA 553, and there's plenty of videos on my YouTube channel as to how to set up those gyros. So make sure you check those out. So it's just a case of I run the aileron, elevator and rudder directly into the gyro, then S-bus the gyro to the receiver, then the rest of the channels like flaps, throttle, gear are just direct in the receiver. Then this lead down the side here is actually plugged into the P-box port on the back of the gyro, and I've left that in on purpose because that's how I need to change any settings on the gyro. With the Futaba transmitters, Futaba gyro, you have to plug in directly to the transmitter to change settings. So I'll leave that in there for now until I'm happy with how the gyro is performing. Then I'll pull that wire out and just leave the gyro in place. Now the gyro is mounted on some rubber padded double-sided tape. It's like a 3M, rather than going straight to the wood, just to give it a little bit of isolation, which was a tip that one of my subscribers gave me from one of my previous videos. And that's all there is to it really. There's the wire for the battery. See the battery is obviously plugged in, it's all powered up, and that should be about right for C of G. Now if you are using the Vuster, that doesn't sound right. If you are using the Vector thrust unit, which goes on the back optional part, they actually give you a weight to put it in the front. Because obviously with the unit in the back, you've got 2 extra servos, so they give you a counterweight to go in front. But we're not doing that on this model. But let me know if you do want me to cover that upgrade in another video. So I think we are about there. Let me show you the retracts working. Okay, so here goes the gear. The first thing you notice is it's quite noisy. It doesn't worry me too much because it's obviously going to be in the air, but it is pretty noisy. And they have actually got little shocks on them as well, which I've not actually tested yet. Oh, they are pretty stiff. They are very stiff actually. Someone did recommend changing the oil in these, but I'm not sure I can be bothered at this stage. I mean, in my opinion, they should be right out of the box. Okay, not too bad. It might just be where they've not been moved yet, kind of freed up a little bit. Yeah, they have sort of freed up a little bit. It's just this one. No, I think they've just freed up. So I'm going to try them as they are. Let's collapse that gear door. That was interesting. It's almost like the gyro's interfering then. Okay, so now it's collapsed. This front nose door, it's not closing up perfectly. You can just see it's a little bit loose here. Now I've not looked at adjusting that, but I think you're probably not getting much better than that. It's just where it's plastic. Maybe the mold's not quite right. Let's try it again. You can see in there's just a servo, so it's steerable with the rudder. It's mixed in, which is automatic, but it's just those pieces here, these clevers here, which push down. So the wheel pushes down on this piece here, and that's what pulls the door in. So I don't think it's going to get any better than that, to be honest with you. Am I being a bit fussy? Guys, let me know in the comments down below. Rest fits absolutely fine. Okay, it's pretty easy to put together, as you saw there. I'd allow about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get it all together and to get your radio gear set up as well. I've not done flight conditions, I've just done one condition, and I've dialed the rates down, or I've dialed about 30% expo on all control surfaces and left them at 100%. Now I'm probably end up dialing it down a little bit, and once I've got that first condition right, I'll then copy it and give myself some more movement and just see how it performs in the air. So with that, let's go and fly it. Okay guys, so we are here. It's a sunny day down the Field of Dreams, and we're ready for the test flight of the FMS Avanti S 90mm. So let's see how we're going to go. So same as normal, I'm going to talk throughout it where I can. I'm going to take off without the gyro turned on. So gyro's off. Once the model's trimmed out, I'll try turning the gyro on and check that out as well. So hopefully an easy flight, just up in the air for 3 minutes, then we'll land it and check all the model over. So let's send it and see what happens. Deliberately gone a bit long. Not sure how this is going to take off in this long grass. Okay, so we've gone full flaps. Already done pre-flight check. A little bit shaky. What's that about? Fingers on the flaps. I know where the retracts are. Let's open her up. Full throttle. Flaps back in. Banking to the left. Gear going up. Hopefully gears up. Couple of clicks of down. Let's bring her back around. That's just over half throttle. Hands off. Let's go one click of right. Powering up. Loads of power coming over the top. A little bit flat. Okay, feels all right. Let's do ailerons, possibly a little bit sensitive for me. Bring it back round and we'll try a roll. Ready. Nice.
Pointed in the vague direction.
That's all right, I'm flying.
See against the blue sky.
I'm flying high. Come for a low flyby.
Yeah, I'll catch you on the way back.
I'm going to just go around and flip the gyro on, okay? Bring it back round, come back over us. Flying very well without a gyro. Okay, turn the gyro on now. Okay, let's gyro on 30. We'll leave that. Okay, I'm going to do a gear pass. Half flap for landing, Andy, do you reckon?
20
I'll just
seconds.
check the trim with the flaps down.
Well, and gear down.
Yeah, whichever.
That's full flap down.
9,
No pitching?
8,
No pitching.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
A bit fast. Oh, flaps went down, that's why. I pressed the wrong flap button. Okay, back to me. All right, guys, I appreciate that was a quick flight. That's the first time I've flown an EDF for over 2 years, maybe 3 years. I just landed it a bit too quick because I actually didn't have the flaps down. So I need to fly it again, fly it up high with the flaps down and make sure there's no issues with there. I don't think there will, but so far my impressions are I like that. I want to go again. So I'm going to go again, get a few more flights in, then we'll get back on the camera in just a minute. Try and cut their flybys. Super smooth.
One minute.
Slow it down a bit. Bring a bit of flap in. So try and bring it through a bit slower. So that's full flap pass. It's opening up. Flap away. Let's try that again. So I'm flying around half throttle at the moment. It's interesting, there's no drop, so when I put the flaps in, the model doesn't really change at all. They normally climb when you put flaps in. All right, let's have some fun. Full throttle. Sorry, Andy, trying to keep up with this. Okay, that's enough fun for me. Let's get the gear down. Bringing the flaps all the way in. About half throttle at the moment. Bring the throttle back slowly, tone that in. It's a bit silhouette-y there. A little bit of power. Greased it. Sort of. A little bit bumpy on the grass there, but absolutely no problem. So guys, big thumbs up on the Avanti. I really like this. As again, it's the first time I've flown EDF for about 3 years. I've only ever had one before. And this is me hopefully getting ready for my turbine project. So if you've not seen my FTL Innovations Lancia 2.8 meter, which is going to be my very first turbine, I'm going to be filming a whole series of that model, unboxing it, getting it all set up, and actually me transitioning from traditional prop planes into turbine and sharing that journey with you. So please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time round. Thanks.